Okay. All right, it says we're live. So my name is Annette Friesman. I'm with COVID Recovery Iowa, which is now, we just changed our name to Project Recovery Iowa. So we're covering other disasters besides just the pandemic that we're starting year 3 in, which seems kind of weird to think about that. But with me today is Raymond from Together We Achieve. Thank you for joining us, Raymond.
Yes, good morning. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so we just want to talk a little bit about what you are. What's your story? How did you come about?
Yeah, so Together We Achieve was actually born out of the derecho on August 10th of 2020. Our organization started as the Iowa Storm Resource Center, Iowa Storm Help. We had a few different names as we kind of tried to figure out what we were even doing. And so shortly after the storm, actually the evening of the storm, I created a Facebook page called the Iowa Derecho Storm Resource Page. And it was a group to bring people together in the community to kind of work down that path towards recovery. I invited about 100 people that night. Little did I know that within about 3-4 days, we were going to have upwards of 60,000 members in that group. So that led to the Physical Resource Center on the 12th of August that started at Keller Williams. And our goal was to just be a centralized location for people to drop off donations, pick up donations, get a hot meal. And then, of course, we were also coordinating volunteers to do welfare checks and to help clean up yards as well, to make sure people were safe and that they could get in and out of their home freely, and they weren't blocked by any sort of debris. So that was our initial introduction to the community, was through the derecho. And through that, we learned very quickly that, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I learned very quickly that the derecho recovery process was going to be a long journey for a lot of people. And then, of course, you have that coupled with a pandemic. And so, if our lives weren't already changed by the pandemic, the derecho certainly assisted a little bit more and exacerbated the need in our community for just basic needs, whether that's food or hot meal. We also offer personal care and household items. So we've continued our mission to just meet the community members where they're at when it comes to their need, and we'll continue to pivot as well. And it sounds like your organization is going to be right along those lines as well, to make sure that should we experience anything in our communities that is unfortunate, they will have a place to turn. So that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Good. So what services do you offer currently?
Yeah, so we currently offer the Resource Center, which is our choice pantry that offers food, pantry food, and then we do have refrigerated and freezer items and produce as well, and then our personal care and household. And individuals can shop the pantry as often as they need for food, once a month for personal care and household. And then on Tuesdays and Saturdays, we offer a hot meal, so Tuesdays in the evening and Saturdays over lunch. And then our 12K in 2022 food box giveaway, we pack 1,000 food boxes every month and give them away in a drive-through fashion with very low barrier. Just we have one short form that we need individuals to fill out. And this month's giveaway is on March 27th at Jefferson High School from 11 to 2. And we do 1,000 food boxes every month. So
that rotates. It's not in the same spot every.
So this year we were actually able to get Hawkeye Downs for January and February, and then we're going to do Jefferson for all of the warm months up through October, and then November and December we'll move back to Hawkeye Downs. That way the volunteers can be inside, and we're not we're being a little bit more safe.
Mm-hmm. So how do people access that? I mean, what do they have to do to get your services?
Yeah, so our goal constantly is to provide low barrier access. We want to make sure that individuals with transportation challenges, language barriers, physical disabilities, that they can still get access to food. We all have the right to eat. So if they come to the Resource Center, we have 3 short forms that they fill out, mostly just trying to collect their information for our own internal tracking, so that we can then produce our impact numbers and show the community how impactful our organization has been in helping those who have food insecurity get access to food. If somebody is interested in delivery services, we reserve those for homebound individuals. That's a phone call, an email, a text message, a message on Facebook. Again, we want to meet people where they're at. And so whatever that looks like for their comfortable means of communication, we're available in those different ways. So those are probably the two biggest on how to get access. Of course, visiting our website, togetherweachieve.org. They'll find a lot of information there regarding our services and how to get access to them as well.
I'm just reading, it says, this is a service I didn't know existed. Thank you for all that you do for our community. So that's one comment. So yeah, if anybody else has any comments or questions for us while we're doing this, I am monitoring the chat. So you said delivery services, and I know you said earlier that's for the Cedar Rapids area, correct?
That's correct. Yep. So we have a couple different volunteer drivers who show up on a semi-regular basis, and they are local to the Cedar Rapids area. So we've done Cedar Rapids, Marion, and a little bit of Fairfax as well in there.
But other services, like it's not just like if I wanted to come, like I live in Blackhawk County, I'm welcome to drive down there and pick up things if I need to, right? So it's not just for Linn County.
Absolutely. So the Resource Center is open to the state of Iowa per our agreement with one of our partners. We have access to TFAP food, and that food does have to be open to the entire state. So our organization does not have a residency requirement where you have to live in Cedar Rapids or Linn County. Again, we just want to make sure that people have access to food, and we're here anyway. So if there's somebody outside the Cedar Rapids immediate area that has transportation and can get to the Resource Center, by all means, you are welcome to come use the Resource Center.
What trends are you seeing now, or needs that you're seeing right now?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not seeing trends in the direction we would like to see. Trends right now are increased services, increased pantry usage, and new clients. And I think we can all agree that between fuel prices, grocery prices, and just overall inflation, even our utilities, in our homes have increased. And so every dollar that we add to those expenses is a dollar out of somebody's pocket that they could use towards food or other basic needs. So, we continue to see an increase in new clients as well as more frequent usage of the pantry.
If I wanted to volunteer, what opportunities are available, and how would I do that if I wanted to volunteer for you guys?
Yeah, there's a plethora of opportunities. We operate a little over 17,000 square feet, and with our pantry and our food box giveaway, we just always have something going on. I would encourage you to visit togetherweachieve.org, our brand new website that we just built, and under the under About, there is a section for volunteering, and there you'll find different opportunities. So we have two different sign up geniuses. One is for the Resource Center. So if you want to work closely with community members, help them shop, package their food, get it down to their vehicle, stock shelves, general cleaning, that would be the place to go for that one. If you're more interested in some of our special events like our food box giveaway, our Egg My Yard fundraiser, or our holiday meal boxes, there's a link on there for special events as well to sign up for those. So I would encourage you to check them both out and take a look at the dates and times and see what works for you. And if you have not been to the Resource Center, I would love for you to stop by and just take a tour, even if it's not something that works in your schedule. Since we are an evening pantry, I know that doesn't work in everybody's schedule for volunteering, but I would love for you to take a tour and see what we offer. It's quite amazing what the community has done to put this together.
So you mentioned you're an evening pantry. What are your hours of operation?
Yeah, so we are open 6 days a week. Monday through Friday, it's 4:30 to 7, and Saturdays are 12 to 3. And we just require that our last client check-in is 30 minutes prior to closing so that we can get our volunteers out of here at a decent time. But yeah, so we are one of the only evening pantries that I'm aware of. So again, that's 4:30 to 7, Monday through Friday, and then 12 to 3 on Saturdays.
Okay. Fundraisers. You have a really fun one that you said you still have some spots left. Tell us about that Egg My Yard fundraiser. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I will say, as an organization that is 100% volunteer run, one of our goals is to have a lot of fun because we have so many people giving their time and money and energy and talents to this that we want them to have fun as well. So we have two really fun fundraisers. The one that we're working on right now, and the registration is open through the end of March, unless it fills up before then, is called Egg My Yard. And the night before Easter, we will have volunteers go in egg yards that are registered. So people who register can pick between 24, 48, and 100 eggs at different price points. And what we'll do is we package them all up. We personalize a letter from the Easter Bunny. So we ask for the kids' names in the household, and then the volunteers will go spread those eggs in the front yard and then tape the letter from the Easter Bunny on the front door so that when the kids wake up on Easter morning, one, the parents didn't have to do all the hiding of the eggs outside. We'll take care of that for you. And they'll have a fun little note from the Easter Bunny that's personalized to them. And we got so many videos last year of kids picking up eggs after we did this. It was just a lot of fun, and the volunteers just had a blast hiding those eggs in the yard. So that's one that we have going on right now. We're about 50% full. We're doing 100 yards.
And that's just for your area, right? You're just doing that in the
yeah. So we actually are doing, I think it's 9 communities. The only community in the Cedar Rapids area that we're not covering is Hiawatha, because they're doing their own. And so we wanted to make sure we didn't take away from what they were doing for their Parks and Rec department.
So what other fundraiser do you do later?
Yeah. So this next one is one of my favorites. So it's called it's flocking. So we flock people's yards. So what you would do is you register a friend, a family member, a neighbor, somebody you want to annoy, somebody that you love, however you want to look at it. And so for $20, we'll flock whoever you want. We take 10 flamingos, put them in their yard in the middle of the night, and then they would wake up and wonder why there were flamingos in their yard. But they do get a fun little sign that says you've been flocked by Together We Achieve. And then on the back side of that sign is kind of their next steps. Do they want to flock somebody else so they can move it? They can buy insurance so they don't get flocked again. And then they can also buy a reveal so they can find out who sent the flock their way. So it's just a lot of fun. And is
that something you do all the time? Or is there a certain time?
So we started it last year. I think we'll open it in May. We'll kind of get through our Easter one, and then we'll open it in May. And we did it through October last year. We kind of had to wait, or we went as long as we could. Once the ground started to get started to freeze, it was a little bit harder to do. So we chose to end it in October. So we're anticipating another May to October fundraiser, and it is just, it's a blast. And again, the pictures and the phone calls and the who did this, and it's just a lot of fun. And you as the flocker get to sit back and laugh, and because they don't know it's you unless they pay for it. Yeah, yep, exactly.
Can you pay to be anonymous so they can never find out?
So we didn't have that as an option, but we did have somebody call, and they paid us $20 last year so that we would not tell her neighbor that she did it. So that was a lot of fun to just have somebody who was so adamant that they wanted to be anonymous that they were willing to throw some money at it. And it was pretty cool.
That's fun. So it sounds like you have a lot of fun there.
Yeah, we try when you're volunteering and giving back, it's important to have fun while you're doing it. And that's one of our goals here.
Another comment says, egg my yard. Sounds like a very fun fundraiser.
It is very fun. And we're still looking for volunteers to sort the eggs and take them to the yard. So if you're in the Cedar Rapids area and you're interested in hanging out with us for one of our fundraisers and driving around.
Are they filled eggs?
Yeah, they have candy and toys in them. Yep, we have a mix.
So you need someone to help with that too, or do you?
They're already, we purchased them pre-filled. Yep. And then we need help bagging them on Friday night, and then Saturday night we'll distribute them. So
in the yards.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we're coming right up on our 15 minutes. Anything else you want us to know before we go?
I don't think so. I think we covered so much, and I would encourage anybody that has questions about our organization to go to our website, togetherweachieve.org, or call the organization. And I think you said you were going to put that in the comments as well.
I will put your website and phone number in there so people, but remember that it is an evening pantry, so you may not answer the phone during the day.
Yes, thank you. Yes, but I certainly try.
Yeah, right.
But leave a message.
This isn't your only job, so yeah.
Yeah, but leave a message. We'll get back to you. And
awesome.
I appreciate this opportunity to talk about what we do and how we have fun helping the community.
Yeah. Well, thank you for what you do and for seeing that need and filling it. So that's really neat. So if anyone wants any information on how to do that in your organization, in your community, or wants to know more about Together We Achieve, I'll put that link in there, and you can reach out to us at projectrecovery.org or 800-447-1985. So thanks, Raymond.
Well, thank you.